Hello, and welcome to Appleton Engaged. I'm Timber Smith, DEI coordinator for the city of Appleton.
And I'm Andy Anam, the communications manager for the city.
And Appleton Engaged is a podcast that explores the many people, organizations, and resources that make our community a great place to live, work, and play. So whether you're a longtime resident or just getting to know Appleton, join us as we learn more about our community together. How you doing today, Andy?
I'm doing good, and we always get incredible change makers from our beautiful city. And can we know who is there today for us? I'm excited.
Me too. I'm excited. In fact, we do get amazing change makers for our community. And this week's guest is longvue, Executive Director of the Hmong Professionals. How are you doing, Long?
Good, thank you.
Hey. All right. Long, can you please tell us about yourself and your association with Appleton and the Fox Cities?
Well, Nyazhong, I have lived all my life in Appleton ever since I came in 1980. Originally, I was supposed to be headed to Austin, Texas.
Texas?
Yes, and my sponsor moved to Appleton. So that's how I ended up in Appleton. So actually, Kokona, because there's no housing. So I'm in Kokona. And I've lived there ever since.
Okay. And when you said you had a sponsor, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Laos. I'm Hmong. So
okay. All right. And so you've been here since, you said
1980.
All right. And family?
Yep, my whole family's here.
Awesome. Okay. Can you please tell us about your organization, please?
Well, let me start. Before I go there, all my life in Appleton area here, I grew up elementary school, high school, then went to college at Eau Claire.
Oh.
And then, came back. And my career always had been in nonprofit. Okay, so. And then what we're doing at New Hmong Professional is that's unique. Originally, we did not intend to be a nonprofit organization. Right before the pandemic hit in 2019, a group of Hmong individuals like me, professionals, we get together, find a safe space for you to share idea, to get together, share internal resources, and how can we help each other professionally. So the original intent was that to find a safe space for us. Because when we grew up here, our elder, they had their own way of communicating. So they had their own clan system where they communicate, resolve issue in the community, resolve resources. But our young professionals, we had no way of knowing each other. I mean, we all went to college, had a good job, making a living, but we don't get to know each other. So originally, that's how we get started. Okay, just finding that safe space for us to share. Because we realized that our young professionals, when they finish college, they move somewhere else. And they don't come back.
So almost like it was almost like a social group initially. Is that what I'm hearing?
It's a social networking group helping each other, yes.
So what's interesting is during the COVID, you felt the need to connect when we were actually getting isolated in our houses?
Yeah, so then that fall, and then January, pandemic hit. We went isolation, so we learning Zoom. Get a network, we did conference over Zoom as well too, and then we realized, in order for us to help ourselves, we had to know each other better.
True.
Okay, our identity.
Right.
So that we did that survey, and the identity of is probably related to COVID. I don't know, but everyone, who am I? What can I do to be, help other people? But I had to know more about myself. So that's when we realized that we had to do more, because we had the elderly that need help. We had the youth that need help. Okay, especially during this pandemic, elderly, they are afraid to go outside, go shopping, go anywhere. I mean, we had the elderly reliving the same trauma when they first came in the early 80s because all the hatred against Asian and the Hmong because of COVID. It's
Right.
always labeled as
Correct.
Right.
There was definitely some labeling that occurred
I
during
don't.
that time.
So I mean, I feel sad because they go to. I mean, a good example is that the elderly when they shop for fruit, they like to look at the fruit, pick up, and look at it. And we had instant where the employee would just throw that fruit away, tell them you cannot touch. Because they're so used to shopping, look at the fruit, touch, oh, it's good, I buy this one.
Right.
Or I pick another one. But pandemic hit, you cannot touch anything.
Right.
But they did not know that.
So there were some cultural hindrances in the approach. Absolutely, yeah. So tell us more about your organization, what all ground level initiatives you take for the community.
Well, before you go there, I want to ask one more question. So this was founded during COVID. So how long has New Hmong Professionals been around now?
So since COVID, and then we went, so now it's about a year and a half, we actually have a nonprofit status. Okay. And then we have rent a building. So now it's just 3 or 4 months that we actually have a physical location.
Right. Yeah. I went to that grand opening.
All right.
It's a nice building.
Thank you.
All right. Sorry, Andy.
No, of course. Yeah, go ahead with the initiatives you're taking, and yeah, we're all ears.
Yeah, so one of our biggest initiatives, we realized that the elders, for us to know who we are, we had to reach out and help our elders. Because isolation is also, we always respect our elders in the Hmong traditions. Because they are the one that keep our culture together. They're the one that have the wisdom, the knowledge about who we are, our culture. So for our professional, for us to know who we are, we had to know our elders. And that's when we will know who we are better. So when our first project is actually elderly projects. So where we actually, allow them to continue farming. Because right now they live in isolation, so we actually pick them up at their houses. We actually work closely with Riverview Gardens, because Riverview Gardens have the space, the gardens that our elder can volunteer there. So it's a natural fit because they love garden, and then Riverview need volunteers. So then the elder actually go there and volunteer, work on the garden as well too. So it's doing something they love to do. But it's more than that as well too, sharing their knowledge, also help them physically, mentally as well too. So it fit everything. So that's one of our biggest projects, helping the elderly. And it's so wonderful. I remember my first experience taking them there. They're actually planting vegetables. They're doing normal pace. But to your non-Hmong, they're going super fast. Okay.
Wow.
Well, they grow up doing the garden, so it's not normal pace for them. But for the rest, they're going too fast. Yeah. They finish that project in the morning and they say, oh, we don't have anything else for you to do.
That's great. So I'm curious, do you document their techniques they do?
Yes, we did take some pictures, and we, actually this program is going so well that I realized, what will we do in the winter?
Right.
So we actually work closely with Feed America now. There's some hydroponic units that we can actually borrow from them. We actually have at our office now, so our elder can actually grow greens at hydroponics at our office.
So
they can do,
hydroponic.
yep.
Oh, okay. Now that's cool.
Yes.
That's very cool. But I know, just because I've had association, that you do more than work with your elderly.
Yes.
Or with your elders. Who else are you serving?
We are serving the youth as well too. When the pandemic hit, we actually did a survey and said what's one sport that we would like to play. And volleyball is the top of the list. So last summer we held our first volleyball camp for Hmong youth. So we actually have coaches coach them to play volleyball. So it's amazing when you can have a group of Hmong individual youth can actually play in a park without people staring at them, because you actually had supervision, you had adult coaching them, volunteer coaching them to play volleyball. I mean, before, if you see a bunch of Hmong kids gathered in one place playing, you think, oh, they're up to something, right? But this is something that's safe for them to play, supervised by adult and volunteer. It's a great moment to see in 40 years. This is the first time we actually had a summer camp that they can actually play volleyball together. Yeah. And we will have this camp again this summer, starting next week, actually.
Oh, okay. So it's that time again.
Yes.
That's fantastic. What additional information do you feel is important for listeners to know about New Hmong Professionals? What else are we missing?
I think it's critical that New Hmong Professionals is heading the goal and mission of New Hmong Professionals is to meet the emerging needs of our Hmong in the community. Okay, we realized that when we first arrived in 1976, 80, all the focus have been on job readiness, education, work. But now the landscape has changed. My dad has passed away. I mean, so the landscape of the needs have changed a lot. And one of the biggest issue that facing our youth is die by suicide. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's big. And to the mental health and the youth, because I realized that working on these projects, when we first came here to this country, the elder, the one that died by suicide, because they had to adjust to this new society, new language. I mean, it's very different. Okay, I mean, you had instance where you have a person in high ranking military that used to be the leader, and now they're the one stay home. You see what I mean?
Right.
And then, they cannot drive. Then someone's taking them around. They used to be the one that command, I mean, that lifestyle changed so much, and the role of women and men reversed too, as well too. I mean, so, but now we are beginning to see that generation or trauma hitting our youth now. Because our young youth, 18, 20, bright young kids are died by suicide. And why? And that's one of the big projects that we are working on right now, actually, a 3-year project on mental health, WCSI. We'll be hiring our staff as well too. We just hired our staff that working. This is a big project with MCI, Multicultural Initiative, working with United Way, working with Youth Mental Health as well too. Mm-hmm. So it's a big collaboration of all different organizations on this project. So we actually hired our first program director that will be working, overseeing this project. But that individual will be working closely with us and People of Progression, because those two main organizations will be serving. Okay, down the road we'll work with Casa Hispana as well too and other organizations. But now we'll focus on these two organizations, and this new program director will be working closely with us and POP, and then hire more staff on mental health, working with mental health and the other health equity issue as well too.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of anything that's more important right now. That's at the top of many communities' conversations. No matter who you are, mental health has definitely risen to the top, one of the top considerations right now.
Absolutely. But can you share a narrative that will help listeners to understand the importance of the resources you're providing them, and what kind of results you are seeing? Is there any transformation which is happening?
The resource that we provide is original New Hmong, which is volunteers. We thought we would just volunteer, take them different projects, but now we actually create projects that our professional can volunteer as well too. So like the elderly, the youth, we have Hmong dancer, young Hmong dancer as well too. And then we actually had line dancing, that when we work with the elder, getting them to exercise is a new concept. But if we introduce line dancing to them, you don't even think about exercise because you're moving, dancing already. That's part of the exercise. Okay. Another resource that we hope to continue to expand as well to business development. We realize that in our community, we need to grow on this as well too. You can see a lot in the Hmong community, a lot of Asian restaurants, but we want to expand that market more. Okay, internal education as well too. We will expand that because we had some mentoring projects going on, but we want to expand that as well too. And then one of my big other project is the hydroponics. I want to actually grow that project with, we could actually have greenhouse and do a lot more stuff. Okay. And then my other biggest project I'm working on, actually hire a part-time staff. It's called the Salmon Project. It's called Wisconsin Salmon. So in that project is actually a wonderful program. If the listener, if you think of the salmon, imagine the salmon run that you see on TV, the bear on the river, a little waterfall trying to catch the salmon when they go upstream.
Right.
If you can picture that, it's the same concept. We have a natural resource in this area, Lake Michigan. We have a lot of salmon going upstream on the river as well too. You don't have to go to all the way to Alaska to watch that. You can actually see in Wisconsin. But in that project, I was part of the Feed America project called Food Leader Lab. So one of the goal is to come up with different projects to fight hunger. And that is to come up with a project that fight hunger so we can help our citizens at large. So in that project, it's going to be happening in the fall. The salmon will go upstream. DNR will catch the fish, took the egg. Then Hmong Professionals will get the salmon. So we will transport the salmon. You're talking about 30,000 pounds of salmon. So you get those salmon, transport, fillet, processing, packaging, and give to Feed in America. And then Feed in America will distribute to different food pantry around this region. So you're talking about 30,000 pounds of salmon.
That's incredible. That's also, it also boosts the local enterprises. I mean, this is a great idea.
This is all, imagine, because the food pantry, you don't get, very seldom you get protein, and salmon and fish is not on the list. You're lucky you get, processing beef basically, or drumstick if you're lucky.
Right.
But salmon is never on that list because it's too expensive to purchase, basically. So this project, in terms of the volunteer, New Hmong could use volunteer to help this process because we are giving away this to Feed America, basically. So the more power we have, the more volunteer we have, the process will be easier because we are looking at transporting those salmon in cold storage, fillet, and looking for kitchen to fillet those, and then processing. And there's a lot of detail work. We have to get ready to get that finished product. So
I think this transitions well into our next question, which is there anything the community can do to be helpful?
I mean, again, the salmon probably the one that I can think of that could really use that workforce of volunteer, because I'm looking at potential company, because you have employee that you always look for project for your employee to volunteer because you pay those hours, right? So it could be like, hey, let's say company A will take a morning shift, 4-hour shift, and then company B will take another 4-hour shift, because the salmon runs only 2 weeks. It's very fast and furious. So all that had to be done in that 2 weeks. So we are actually working on what hopefully our goal is to reach out to different community, different nonprofit organization, different business, so they can do those different shifts to volunteer for us. Because the goal is to get those 30,000 pounds of salmon to Feed America, and then they will distribute that to the food pantry.
So if listeners want to know about this opportunity, where exactly they can find? Do you have your Facebook page? Or, although we will be giving all the information, but where exactly they can find this information and contact you?
Yeah, and who do they contact?
They can reach out to me, longvue at Hmong Professionals. Okay. My email is longvue@newhmongprofessional.org, or they can go on Hmong Professional on Facebook, or they can go on the website as well too.
So in the website, you're saying that this Project Salmon is already listed?
I did not have that on there yet. I'm going to have that project on there, but there's information, question that you can actually ask us as well too.
So, listeners, if you're listening about Project Salmon, it's a great way to volunteer, and you can contact Mr. Wu about everything you want to know about this project. It's a great way to support them.
Exactly. Long, it's your opportunity now to do any shout outs. Do you have anybody or any organizations you'd like to shout out?
Well, I mean, for new Hmong professional, we are very lucky that when we decide to make turn this to a nonprofit organization, we're very lucky to have Community Foundation to U.S. Venture for them to support our organization. We are very lucky to work closely with MCI, Lisa Cruz, and Red Shoes, because we are working a lot together on different projects. And then we are so fortunate to continue, hopefully build that new relationship with United Way. We hope to work closely with them. And then we are very lucky to work with Beth at New Hmong Professionals as well, too, at New Mental Health. I mean, I think the overall is just that common interest of serving the private at large. Because to all this work, we work so closely with POP, people of correction. We also work closely with Casa Hispana, a different ethnic group as well too. We work closely with Pointer as well too. So the intern of the people of color organization, I mean, we in the span of my career in nonprofit, this is probably the first time we actually have different ethnic organizations work together as a team to form this MCI multicultural coalition that can actually work together to bridge all those organizations together into one. So we can actually do one big project that benefit everybody, or we can focus on one individual that meet our organization's needs. So I mean, the opportunity is endless. I look forward to work closely with everybody, with different organizations, with different company, with the city of Appleton as well too. I mean, so the opportunity is endless. I mean, like I keep telling someone else, the work for me to do, I mean, it's endless. I could pick up different project and continue on, but there's only one longvue, okay? So so I will have to really secure the funding to hire more staff to help me. I'm very fortunate that in this a year and a half, I have 4 staff already, okay? So I will get in probably 2 more staff, but it's endless projects.
Okay. Well, Long, thank you. And now we're going to start wrapping things up. So, Appleton Engaged listeners, you already know we are a work in progress. We're always trying to do better. Please reach out to us and let us know how we're doing. Or if you'd like to be a guest, or if you'd like to recommend guests for the future, you can reach us at diversity@appleton.org. Once again, that is diversity@appleton.org. Also, listeners, it would be awesome that if you are listening to this podcast and you are enjoying them, and we really hope that you are, because we think this is something pretty special that we have going on here in our community, please take the time to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing. Good, bad, or indifferent. We've got broad shoulders. We can handle it, but we can't be better if we don't know how people feel out there. So,
Absolutely. Remember, these resources are not just limited to our podcast. Dive deeper by visiting our website, following us on social media, and engaging with the organizations and individuals we feature. And until next time, stay engaged, stay inspired, and keep making a difference. We'll catch you in the next episode.